You're welcome back to Morning Express. Now let's kick off conversation on the program. Let's see if we can join Dr. Aliyu Ilias, who is a regular on the program, also a public affairs analyst here, joining virtually actually. A very good morning to you, Dr. Aliyu. Thank you so much for finding the time to join us on the program. And it's good to see you again after such a very long time.
You took that out. It's good to see you. I'm glad to see you. Good morning, Nigeria.
Thank you so much. Well, good morning, Nigeria. Nigeria has been quite on fire, or should I say Nigerian airports have been on fire of late. We saw the situation with the legendary Fuji musician Kwangwan at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. And then much recently, we saw the occurrence at the Murtala Mohammed local wing airport, where an irate passenger was involved, in a fracas with airline staff. Now that the videos that went viral were heavily criticized by so many people, claiming or citing that her nude or the fact that she was naked shouldn't have, been published the way it was. But in your opinion, what do you make of all these recent happenings? There seemed to be something in the air around Nigerian airports.
Right. You recall that when Mr. Shomele it happened, I was invited to full of television station being on the consumers, because we look at the rights of the consumers. I've been a flyer too. Yeah. I've tried a lot of they have to bring about. But I think the issue seems to be coming around now against the passenger. Before it's always the airline, but by and large, I think we have to still question the airline. And maybe what is happening is helping the system to also actually grow. It's helping the system to actually know what to do, because we have not had this before. And the more things happen, the more it gives room for more law, the more it gives room for more questions on the passenger and the airline. But coming back to the issue of Mr. Comfort, I think it's a sad reality, because I could see the other side of the video where the lady was, they did not allow her to disembark, and the woman was blocking her to. And we are not seeing that side of that very well, because it's human and there's limits sometimes to how we can react. So if they had allowed her to disembark and arrest her within the airport, I think they would have solved the problem. But if they decide to block, when they decide to block, she also wants to put own efforts in finding a way to actually go.
And then the situation escalated.
Then she went back and the situation escalated. So we should look at it from that angle first. Because if you are calling security to come and arrest someone, I am not allowed this person to disembark, and the security have people arrest her anywhere, anytime. Even let's look at it from the airport. I think that's another one.
I mean, we all know how airports work and how airplanes work. When you are about to get on a flight, you don't just walk from the waiting area and don't walk into the airport. You have to be conveyed there by an airport bus, provided for you by either the airline itself or even the airport, whichever the case may be. In this situation, if they were scared that she would disembark from the plane and disappear into thin air, there's no way that would have happened, because she certainly would have still joined the bus that would convey them, to the arrival area. Is this a situation of bad judgment also on the part of the airline staff?
No. If you look at Lagos Airport, it's not like Abuja. Once you disembark from Lagos, if I can check from Tama down to where you get a bus.
Yeah.
But in Abuja, so even at that, you may have some loads to clear. She will from the airport down outside she would have arrested her. On her own part, I can tell you her own utterances, her optics was bad. She wouldn't have taken that level. Then look at the decision itself. Switch off your phone. Don't switch off your phone. It's normal thing that happens in the air. She's not a victim. Most passengers do carry that out. By and large, our own issue now is that she's facing the whoever our own path to where her nudity was actually exposed. Was she handling correct way? The answer is no. No, there's a better way you can actually handle that. And who actually did you? Because a certain person who used his or her phone to cover such relatives should have made sure that that thing died within him. And that's why, or he or her, that's why we are calling on the first Yamon action and aerospace management to make sure that they bring this person to book, because it's a serious sense on her. And so, and I'm happy that the NBA taking it up that going to be her, her lawyer in this should actually see this as to be a logical conclusion, because she's in Kirikiri. Nigerian, I don't know if you have followed social media. I know you are a vibrant person. You have seen Kwam, I've seen Kwam too.
I have seen all the Kwam seasons. Hopefully, we don't have a Kwam 3. However, Dr. Aliyu, on a more serious note, people have questioned the swiftness in taking her to Kirikiri prison, charging her to court, rather than maybe just taking her to a police station and then allowing her to probably explain her own side of the story and maybe granted bail in one way or the other. Why the swiftness all the way to Kirikiri prison instead of just a police station?
In fact, I got to know today that they remanded up to October when I first to start. That what kind of law doing selective justice? The fact is that even if you have to police station or even Kirikiri, there should be a bail. Let people know how much, and she will that way. But I can tell you, because what the common is can't among hijacking plane, let alone how case is not for me. Because suicide.
The NCAA keeps claiming that the situation between Emerson Comfort's case and Kwamwan's case are quite different. But in my opinion, I think that while one person was aggressively trying to get on the plane, even with contents of a bottle that claimed that the witnesses claimed to be alcohol, the other person just wanted to disembark from the plane, and they refused to allow her disembark from the plane because, in their defense, she refused to switch off her mobile phone. Is that enough sin to be treated in the manner that she was treated? Some people might even call it an animal treatment.
Right. I listened to a CAA person, and there was a question posed by a journalist to him that, okay, why is not increased? He said the Ibom Air are the one that pressed charges against Emerson.
Yes.
Comfort. But in case of the Palm 1, Wasiu and the value jet to press this against him, simply they are friends. Maybe Donor and Palm they are from this town, and that's why they are concerned. Thinking in that case. So what about the role of CSA and the minister? So for me to actually make it clear, they should be released as soon as possible. She has also suffered a lot of things that need to also get to rest and see, and the case start again. So I think I will urge the NBA to not use to not stop at they should go and look that she's bailed so that she can also press her charges, because for me we need to balance the case, and it's not good enough that we're doing selective justice in a country called Nigeria.
Well, while the NBA has, waded in to take up the case pro bono, it's a move that has been commended by a lot of individuals. The Labour Party as a whole has condemned the actions of Ibom Air and even what they describe as the partisanship of NCAA over delivery of justice on the two different cases, Kwam 1 and Kwam 2, as you had pointed it out. However, one person that has made very strong claims is also the Labour Party's presidential candidate in the last election, talking about Peter Obi, who had stated that it is biased. I will read out his comments here on the situation. he had questioned due process in the passenger's lifetime ban. Do you have any idea on the procedures of what it takes for a passenger to be banned from flying locally, on all airlines for life?
Right. In earlier comments, I made mention that this bringing another system and strengthening the existing system. So I think it comes as a shock to them because we've never seen Nigeria being banned. And in fact, I'm not yet global.
I mean, only terrorists, only terrorists are placed on a lifetime no-fly ban.
Exactly. That's why I mentioned Mutla try to jack anything the other time or explode. I don't know how to place it now. But the fact is that recall what Obi is actually coming out and why most of it. One, the known musician for our president. You recall during all this campaign, you see him, and that's why you see that he also quick to go and apologize. So because you know that it will definitely affect the president and other things. For me, I think it is still sensitive. So I saw it on TV this morning that IGL has still a case against someone and is going to be invited. But let's see how it goes. But for me, I don't think the life ban is too much a ban to harm any Nigerians or any human for this case that evil.
Well, they say that Kwangwan's no-fly ban is just for a duration of 6 months, while Comfort's no-fly ban is a lifetime no-fly ban. Now, this is the disparity in the different justices meted out on both individuals. Now, with the IG's, orders for a probe into Kwangwan's situation, do you see maybe an escalation of these events beyond the necessary publicity that they've already gained?
Well, I think that role was like an afterthought because they are seeing that they are doing selective justice. But
is it necessary?
Well, for me, I think it's necessary because look at it very well. You have to give a kind of precedence. So if there is no precedence of make sure that they prosecute this case to the logical conclusion, we could see another one that was more than this. And that's why they are really hammering on Kwangwan. Probably because they didn't do more on Kwangwan. That's what we got. Actually kind of such a act. But for me, I think it should be selective justice. They should also give for an opportunity to speak on our.
Well, when the videos went viral, the videos that circulated on social media, and of course, the ones I'm talking about, where her body was exposed in a very indecent manner, and there were claims that one of the airline staff, an air hostess, had purposefully dragged her blouse up to reveal her body. The NBA is alleging that this is a breach of her fundamental human rights and is calling for an independent probe into the matter. In your opinion, do you think that Ms. Comfort Emerson has the right to sue Ibom Air or even sue the individuals that were involved in this very dastardly act of assault on her?
That is quite expected. The normal thing for you to actually identify people that offend you and civil in terms of to court have the right to push the Ibom Air also suit that are involved. And I wish the videos are also exposed such things that actually carry out that just the act because they are claimed to be victims. Though we saw where she hit them, but there's no other side to it, what they are did to her. That's why I'm happy that she was saying that they are blocking her was able to come out. So she can go ahead and sue anybody she consider a breach of fundamental human rights.
Well, interesting take, Dr. Aliyu. Let's move on to other matters in the news this morning. And hopefully we don't have an occurrence of a third season of airport fracas in the
One
country
day.
anytime soon, or Quam 3, as you have pointed out. Well, within the health sector, we have seen a lot of crises currently going on, which have been there for quite some time. Now, this is despite a 5.4 trillion naira series of World Bank loans that have, poured into the country. Why do you think that the health sector continues to suffer despite an increase in the annual budgetary allocation to the sector and even extra loans from the World Bank to help stabilize the sector? What exactly is going on with Nigeria's health sector?
But you will recall that when we got to have minister, the nomenclature, the name of the minister got changed from Minister of Health and Social Welfare.
Yeah.
We got to hear welfare. I was thinking maybe there is a need for all Nigerians to be under NHIS, so create something different. But now, I've not seen the difference between the former name and the new name. However, health is very, very crucial thing that we must have to consider very well. So I think some national needs to come on board as well, because I don't think this national cater should actually everyone. Then in addition to that, there must be more budgetary allocation. Though it appears more budget or it's compared to other, but we need more to have more budgetary allocation. You also recall that Trump actually drew aid for HIV, and you also see some USAID some projects have been also withdrawn. So this will definitely affect except we pump in more money. So I think government needs to be conscious to avert different strike that we are seeing, and also to cater to health more. So the thing is, Nigeria must be conscious and have a special budget allocation for it to raise 1% or 2% to some areas that really like malaria. The major problem of Nigeria is malaria, typhoid, fever. So I was thinking maybe from the oil revenue, from FRS or custom, the direct will be going into this health needs in Nigeria.
Well, Dr. Aliyu, in a moment, I just want you to react to these figures on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Can we have the Punch together so that our viewers also have a clear insight into what this humongous amount of money have been earmarked into the health sector look like? 11 major projects gulped $3.527 billion in 9 years, as global lender expected to approve additional $250 million loan in September. Now, Dr. Aliyu, this is to the health sector alone. In the past 9 years, or in the last 9 years, about $4 billion has been gulped up by the health sector in the country. And in September, we are expecting $250 million in terms of World Bank loans. You would also recall that the 2025 fiscal healthcare sector financing, as detailed in the proposed budget, highlights an overall increase of 58.53% in total funding compared to 2024, rising from 1.62 trillion naira to a staggering 2.56 trillion naira. More than 50%, Dr. Aliyu. Why are we still struggling with the health sector? That is a question on my mind, and I believe that is a question on the minds of millions of Nigerians watching us this morning.
Right. So health is a critical sector that needs to be tackled. Sometimes you don't even need to wait. You have to be move as swift as possible. So getting loan for our health sector, for me, I don't think it's bad. The question is that where will be extended, and where will start calling economic percent, because they have the first and three rights and the responsibility to actually carry an oversight function and explain to Nigerians that this money has been expended as it should be before they can embark on another one. So knowing the money is not my concern, where the money has been expended is my concern. So the onus is now on the Minister for Health and Social Welfare comes out and explain where expended. And also on NGOs to also follow this, because sometimes government you don't actually move and actually call on them, they find it difficult to actually bring out such details. So I think you have to ask them the question, just like what we are doing now. Let them come and explain where they expend the money because they know that the lender will be there to give them credit. They also know that Nigeria will be happy if they send borrowing to health sectors, and that's why they continue on that trajectory. So I think look at government is much more concerned, not as much as if borrowing is getting higher every day, but because of where the money is being expended. So I think let's account for where the money is being expended upon.
How about several threats made by Lagos State or doctors in Lagos State to embark on a strike action? Now, this is as the federal government swiftly declared that they will clear off 7 months salary arrears for doctors and health workers in the country. Why do we wait till things start deteriorating before we take action, even as a nation, whether on the federal level, at the federal level, at the state level, or even the local government level where you'd find the primary healthcare centers? Why does it have to get to a certain point of agitation before we take action?
Well, I want to say the doctors because you call it strike is the last resort for every union to embark upon. So I've push for several years now. So the thing is a bad one on the federal government to allow be it medical doctors of the embark strike before they will do what they do that they are supposed to do, expect them to embark on this and actually do it. So I think there should be a right from the federal government that will say they must react as soon as possible to every concerned workers. Those ex workers are being trained to have that level of safety. So it's out of wish to actually go on. So government should be their part, both the subnational and the national should be their part. And bonus is also on the minister as well to make sure that we rely on all these subnational, national, and they always say these people are you.
Well, Dr. Aliyu, a recent study has been, or a recent concern has been raised about mental health in healthcare workers. Now, these are individuals who, in the country, ensure that we get access to quality healthcare. They take care of us when we are sick. They are there for everybody, all and sundry. Yet it appears that the harsh working conditions that they continue to grapple with have taken a toll on their mental health. Well, at least a certain number of them. Is there a way to ensure that our health sector is eased in such a way that while doctors continue to work for the benefit of all, they are also not too burdened with lack of salaries, delay in salary payments, undue and unjust salary cuts, and so many other vices that they have decried over time, both nurses and doctors and healthcare workers in general? It appears that the healthcare sector needs a lot of help.
Right. You are that mental health problem is not only for mental for health workers.
Yeah.
It's only that health workers that have mental health are problem. You are sure where different Nigerians have mental health problems simply because of survival. I know most things that pose problem to people is acts of surviving. So if people cannot survive, mostly to mental health problem. But I do not want to canvass for only the workers now. I'll canvass for every Nigerian who deserve their basic salary. I'll canvass for every person who has worked that needs to be paid. Because if you don't pay them, even the economy itself is not helping. Because if you look at how much you are spending on transport before you now pay fees, before you embark on different, things that you need for, it can be that. But I think the mental health for mental health workers is not critical. Because if people that are supposed to take out for people's mental health, people's health, are not having it, it becomes a double problem. So I think the government should do more, and I'm still calling on the minister. So that they and all the subnational and people that are responsible to pick people as when due to avoid a continuous probabilities or be strike.
Well, very quickly, let's move on to yet another story in the news. We have about a couple of minutes to wrap up the conversation on the program, and I would want us to touch on different aspects. Now, we hear that IPOB has described as very shameful, in their words now, very shameful, the efforts made by Southeast leaders, whether political or cultural leaders, begging President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a presidential pardon for the leader of IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, who has been in custody and has been, undergoing prosecution by the federal government. What do you say to this? And do you think that perhaps it's time to take a final stand on the case of Nnamdi Kanu, either to incarcerate him or to free him? Where do you stand?
Right. I do think that it's becoming more political trial for him now because I came out earlier and said he's not involved in the issue of stay at home in the East. And we have seen that since they have arrested, what's his name now, from abroad, I've forgotten his name now, we could see that the tension has actually reduced to an extent. So I think the political leader of this is need to go have a meeting with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and appeal. But for them undertaking as well, while the appeal is going on from Nnamdi Kalu and leaders that Nnamdi Kalu will come out and be peaceful because they need a peaceful Nigeria. So it deserves to be pardoned because it's much more political now and it deserves to be pardoned. So I think they should embark on that. But some of the leaders have been speaking out. I've seen so many speaking out in that area. I've seen some leaders speaking out in that direction. But I think appeal to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu politically to solution in area.
Well, there have been claims or accusations made by certain key elements within IPOB and even top political figures in the Southeast that the president is maybe keeping Nnamdi Kanu as a political tool ahead of 2027, as a negotiating tool ahead of 2027 to garner the votes of the people of the Southeast. Is this a line of thoughts that you subscribe to, or are they just bluffing, in your opinion?
Well, it is military to use that, this southern president, I think we should do more to appeal to people. It should not be too much for that part of it, but putting it at the front burner, I think will not be all go well. How long are we going to use the issue to negotiate for? It has performed exceedingly well, and if you look at Southeast, I think there's an influence for APC more. They're having more, they're having more defection. I think that should be a reason why they should negotiate, because they now have people from the Southeast in APC, but that they will use it for votes. I don't think that's enough for that, because people in this still have their opinions, both for any person, but though because Obi is in the corner too, and I'm sure Obi will not also become to campaign that if you leave, making president, he will be averaging that. Obi will not put that also. So that should not be part of the calculation. There's other way around that the APC-led administration in the Southeast, the chiefs, the OB can come out and appeal to president. They have done that. They shouldn't be tired. They should continue to do that because they can gain relief for them and have a peaceful Southeast.
Now, Nnamdi Kanu, as we all know, it has been accused severally of being the one inciting the violence in the Southeast, home order, which between Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa, who is being prosecuted in Finland. Do you think that releasing him might be more detrimental than beneficial for the people of the Southeast and the country at large, considering the relative peace that the Southeast is gradually starting to enjoy of late? Or are we seeing the Southeast being plunged back into the dark old days of, unknown gunmen and other vices plaguing the region?
For me, I think it's much more beneficial. Yes, much more beneficial because we now have a stable such business are flourishing. I have sit at home for money. We now cease to exist, but there must be an undertaking, not from Kalu himself say that okay, after getting released, I will drop the issue of IPOB and maybe that will bring a lasting solution. Taking and those leaders will also spoke at at length to stop that. Let's have a one Nigeria and let's say now have the Southerners and we're hoping Southerners will do much more goodies to the South.
Well, ahead of the Anambra gubernatorial election, we have seen the governor of Anambra State, Governor Chukwuemeka Soludo, visiting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and also, boldly stating that the president has been his friend for over 22 years, and that he's unapologetic about his support for the president. Now, this is also one person that members of IPOB have included in the list of individuals that they call their acts shameful for either asking or not asking the president to release Nnamdi Kanu. Ahead of the Anambra election, just to deviate a little bit, why do you think the governor had visited President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Is it some sort of way of grabbing or seeking the help of power at the top?
Right, you agree that President Bola Tinubu is the president of Nigeria, so every governor has the right to get to see the president. However, if you ask me, I think it's political because he pointedly said that they are progressive. That he went to see the progressive, his progressive plus progressive. That's what actually. But it's clear that it's trying to seek government, federal government, and Bola support to support him for president and for to emerge as the governor for the second time in fact that is clearly an objective. What is not too much to ask for? It is human and you can always request to garner support for anything you actually doing. So but it is pure political expecting President Bola to support him. And if he is lucky to get that support, I think it will be fine. So he's trying to get support. And anybody who president support is likely to emerge as president. It's trying that is in power. So they can be in negotiation. And Anambra has originally been at that. So we're looking at how he's going to sustain and succeed with that. And this is the second time for him. So he has all the tools in his hand to appeal to President Bola Tinubu for his support. We have seen that in some states, was in Osun State government saying that there is support. We have seen it played practically by Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, pledged to support Bola Tinubu, and people of Oyo voted en masse for President Bola Tinubu. When it comes to governor, they voted for Seyi Makinde of PDP. So it is possible that is what is looking at enjoying from the president.
Dr. Aliyu, a very dramatic incident has happened recently where the former transportation minister and former River State governor, Rotimi Amaechi, had explained how he and ex-governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Fayemi, collaborated in galvanizing the coalition of opposition and eventually adopting the African Democratic Congress. Amaechi said both of them decided to expand the opposition coalition to accommodate more people after extensively discussing the idea. Now, these claims were refuted by the ex-Ekiti State governor, saying that they lack basis. Why are we seeing a trade of words between these two political figures in the country? And at this point, I might be forced to ask, who is lying? Is it Amaechi or Fayemi?
I can't do it lying. You say it has been denied. Governor, I Fayemi And that denial speaks a lot for him. It claims he's progressive and is in APC, though he's not having any position. So you might ask you, like, maybe look at that calculation, maybe because it's free, you think you can identify with them. You are seeing Fayemi in that area. She was also former commissioner of the Amaechi. But the fact is that he has denied it, and I need to put it rest at that level that he has denied it, because he knew that if the political suicide, if that is true, that President Bola gets to go, they may actually not reckon with him going forward. And Amaechi should learn how to keep some issues.
Some sensitive informations. You know, some sensitive information should be kept private.
Yeah, so I think there is need for Amaechi also to learn how to keep some sense, because it is normal that some who be in APC and working on the ground for ABC. It is not normal. Some also in ABC that work on the ground for some people in APC that actually working for ABC. It's like that in politics. So I think Amaechi should learn how to keep some things secret to be secret. It's possible, but why will you come to the screen and be saying such thing when he has not maybe denounced or he's not an APC member? And I'm happy he came out to say no, it's not correct.
But why insisting over and over again? I mean, in one of his statements there, he said that we started in Nasiru Danu's house. He was so specific, so detailed, so streamlined about the fact that he and the ex-Ekiti state governor really started the coalition and then brought in all the other people. Yet, the man continues to deny these allegations. It beats my imagination, the level of comic display on Nigeria's political landscape when it comes to the coalition and certain comments made by the former Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amaechi. What do you think of this situation?
But I think it's a game of mind, which is trying to play to the intuition of Mr. President, that even your eyes are now denying you, even open. That's just a game of, it's a lot. That's why I said it's early for Amaechi to aspect of the ban now. Imagine if you take to the election, this is coming out. It's much more better. But not now that they will start realigning and getting a lot of things. For me, I need to believe actually said.
Well, in 5 minutes we'll wrap up the conversation, Dr. Aliyu. Let's leave this conversation and move on to Keffi, Nasarawa State, where we hear that a jailbreak has occurred and 16 inmates are currently at large and 5 police officers were injured in the course of the jailbreak. Well, thankfully and luckily, no casualties were recorded. What is the situation like, and why do we continue to see jailbreaks in Nigeria's correctional centers that happen almost very easily and almost on a yearly basis? A couple number of jailbreaks happen almost every single year.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the fourth time we have a break in 2025. It's a sad reality. Some of them have escaped to the public. The others are having, some of them could be criminal. They're not supposed to be in society. That's for the community. You should also government. I think prison or correctional facilities as it were are on concurrent list now. So states also will start taking responsibility, because we cannot continue to expect government to do everything. Responsibility, to build security around every prison, so that will prevent layer of security. If they escape a particular prison, the community would have built a kind of another level to actually answer their cause. There's a lot of issues on prison. I also saw the news saying that 8,000 have mental health. I've also got to see that they are not well fed. We've also got to see that there's a lot of old facilities that I think our correction facilities need to be more consciously managed. avoid such occurrence? And how are we beefing up security around this? Should it be that they should increase the weapons, to increase the weapon that or arms those prison officials should have? Because, this, according to what we get here, about two of them suffer serious fatal, injury that they cannot prevent themselves or protect themselves while this jailbreak occur. So I think we should look into it, because if this is number 4 and we are at maybe August, we are in August, that means there's likelihood to be more. So the minister should also, because should also start doing, and it should also decongest this, because that's part of what causes the problem. Most people are on the death row in the prison, and governors are not signed death and this another problem. So until we find a lasting solution to this prison case, that's when I think we'll have to rest on the case of continuous jailbreak.
Do you have any explanation as to why governors continue to, deny or delay signing these death warrants in most states? It appears that everybody is trying to wash their hands of, the death sentences, almost like the case of Pontius Pilate. Hello, Dr. Aliyu?
I can hear you now.
All right. I was asking if you have any idea as to why state governors in Nigeria continue to delay signing these death warrants, almost as in the case of Pontius Pilate, washing their hands of the death of these men, or prisoners in this case.
Well, the fact remains that they have forgotten that one thing responsibility of the governor is come with the two sides, and the good, and you also sign the other side of this. But I think they are running from their responsibility for asking, and I think National Assembly should look into it and make sure that it is enforceable. That once you are a governor and there's a death sentence, you have the ability, the ability to sign such, because they are trying to their responsibility, but they are quick to give pardon, and they're not quick to sign death sentence, and this is causing more problems in our society. So I think English board and a law that will make them to make sure that if with this also particular day, they should be able to start that death sentence.
Well, quite very strong points you have relayed home, Dr. Aliyu. I must thank you so much. This has been a very fast-paced interview with you here in the studio. Thank you for finding the time to join us virtually, and we wish you the very best of the rest of your day.